I just watched Black Panther Wakanda Forever, so this is going to be my spoiler-filled review of the film. Again, there's going to be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, this is your spoiler warning. But let's get into it. Right off the bat, I want to address the elephant in the room with this film. That is the obvious loss of Chadwick Boseman that we had. We didn't just lose T'Challa the character, we lost Chadwick Boseman, a man that meant so much to so many different people. And Ryan Coogler had the difficult job of trying to pick up the pieces of where this movie was going to go and how they were going to handle the passing of Chadwick. And this is tough because Chadwick isn't just some actor that Ryan hired to be a part of his film. He was like a brother to him. That's how he talks about Chadwick all the time. He had a very brother-like friendship. And I'm happy to say that, oh my God, Ryan Coogler knocked it out of the park with honoring Chadwick Boseman and creating a film that I think it surpasses the first film. Right off the bat, I'm not scared to say that I think Black Panther Wakanda Forever is the best written and the most substance-filled MCU movie in Phase 4. That includes Shang-Chi, that includes No Way Home. As much as I love those two films, I'm sorry, but Ryan Coogler and his writing staff are just... they're spinning circles. Just incredible, impeccable writing. The dialogue, it just makes sense. It's not forced. Even when there's humor, the humor fits. It's definitely not forced. And with that, I mean, the direction, obviously, is impeccable. The cinematography is incredible. Oh my God, the landscapes we see, some of the shots, oh my God. My only critiques from a technical perspective are with the editing and some of the fight action choreography. I feel like it was either cut weird or was lacking. But overall, like the film from a technical perspective, and I'm just convinced that everything Ryan Coogler touches turns to gold. Bravo, Ryan Coogler deserves a standing ovation for the job he did with this film. Now we need to get into the spoiler territory and actually talk about what this film is about. At its core, it's a film about grief and how we handle that as human beings. And intertwined with that story is a story about two nations with very similar backgrounds, very similar morals and ideologies, coming at a straight-on collision. It needs to be said, Angela Bassett is a fucking force in this film. She is so great, and she's gonna be getting a Best Supporting Actress nomination at the Oscars, if not outright winning. She was seriously that good. It's a shame we're not gonna be seeing her going forward in the Black Panther film since she tragically dies in the film. Everything she gave in this film, she gave it her damn all. Complimenting her to a T was Letitia Wright. She was also so great. You can just feel the pain, the very real pain all of these actors had. But she had the difficult task of trying to carry on Chadwick's lead role, and I think she did a wonderful job in convincing me and the audience that this was her time and her time to shine. But like I mentioned before, everyone gets a moment. Everyone gets a damn moment, especially the slow moments where they need to get out that grief. Everyone pictured above had a moment and a key role to play in this film. I would say the least likely of them all and who I wanted more of was M'Baku. Winston Duke always kills it in the role, but honestly, in what the role he was given, he was phenomenal. He was a scene stealer. And I thought he was great for the role he was given. The same could be said for Lupita Nyong'o's Nakia. It was a smaller role, but I thought, given the context of the story and everything and her role in it, it was perfect. I mean, she was integral to the plot. Without her infiltrating Mexico and finding out more about Talocan, Shuri would still be kidnapped and she would have never escaped. Oh, and she also gave birth to T'Challa's son, which we'll get into more later. But this confrontation here is the center of the story. Shuri versus Namor. En Tenoch Huerta as Namor, el niño sin amor. He was just mwah, 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 mwah. I'd do it 20 more times if I could. He was so fucking good, man. He's easily going to be a fan favorite villain. And he was so damn intimidating. His monologues were off the chain. His dialogue was written so mwah, and performed to the damn T by Tenoch. And his motivations are straight up real. It's the same as Wakanda's morals were in the first film. He just wants to keep his people safe and out of harm's way, but he will do whatever it takes to make sure it stays that way. And that's where he gets a little bit more antagonistic, not so much villainous. But I love that. I love that you understand his motives and you can actually kind of get behind it. By the way, check out my shirt. Fire. His people do not call him General. They call him Kukulkan. The feathers up and cut. And his fight scenes, I mean, he was just perfect. I couldn't ask for a better villain for this film. He's very much so like Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger in the first film. And it's just absolutely insane to me that the Black Panther franchise went from this guy to this guy. Like, come on, that's got to be the best back-to-back villain antagonist in MCU history. Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams, Peter Parker vibes. It was almost like I was watching a repeat of Spider-Man in Civil War. It was very similar, except she wasn't as childish as he was in that film and like geeking out about everything, but it was pretty close. But her character, she's going to be a fan favorite. I can't wait to see her in her series. But this is where our plot actually gets into play. Because her fucking smart ass makes a machine that's able to detect vibranium everywhere, underwater, behind walls and shit. Which when it's used by the CIA to go try to find some vibranium in the damn ocean, Namor's like, nah, I don't like that. meets with Wakanda, tells them it's their fault that they went public and decided to share their vibranium, which caused the world to start looking for it everywhere, and now that puts his people in jeopardy. So he tells them they need to kill Riri, the scientist who created this machine, otherwise an all-out war would break loose. Which is when they kind of reconcile for a bit. Shuri goes down to Talocan, learns about his people, and kind of respects where he's coming from. But Shuri has morals. We're not just going to kill her just because to kill her. Which is when Nakia rescues Shuri and Riri from Talocan. Some people get killed, and Namor retaliates, giving us the flooding of Wakanda, some badass action sequences, especially of aerial combat with Namor, leading to the death of Queen Ramonda, leading to Shuri recreating the heart-shaped herb. Now, I think this is where a lot of the quote-unquote controversy comes from in this scene. She recreates a synthetic heart-shaped herb, takes the herb to become the new Black Panther. But instead of being ushered into the ancestral plane by T'Challa and her father and basically every other Black Panther, which is how I would have done it, or at least how I was hoping it was done, tastefully of course, no CGI Chadwick or anything, she actually ends up seeing Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger in the throne room, which is where he kind of plays this more dark, vengeful, devil on her shoulder in her ear type, telling her basically like, bro, you're basically just like me. Revenge and vengeance is what fuels us, and that's how we're gonna get shit done. Which is when Shuri's like, alright, I know what I need to do. I need to kill Namor. We get that fire new Black Panther costume that she wears, and oh my god, it's badass. We get an absolutely breathtaking action sequence in the Atlantic Ocean, Wakanda versus Talocan. Seriously, some of these action sequences are pretty great. And staying true to the comics, they actually figure out what his weakness is. By dehydrating him, he gets a little bit weaker. And Shuri's ultimately able to defeat him, but she doesn't kill him. She does the right noble thing. Similar in Civil War to when T'Challa tells Zemo that vengeance has consumed him. It's consuming Cap and Iron Man, and he said it's done letting it consume me. He makes the bigger decision to just take him into custody and give him his justice, not killing him, not letting vengeance succeed in taking you, which I thought was a beautiful tribute to how T'Challa the character would have handled it. And they end up with like a peace treaty for the moment, but I have some theories. I think some of his people aren't going to like the fact that he kneeled to Wakanda. But all is well in the world. Shuri gives up the mantle of Black Panther at the end. She decides to just take a chill pill and stay with Nakia in Haiti, which is where she meets T'Challa Jr., T'Challa and Nakia's son. And oh my god, he's so cute. The scene is beautiful, and it just warmed my heart watching that scene, knowing that his legacy is going to live on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the tributes throughout the Chadwick were just beautifully and tastefully done in the beginning and the end. Wakanda Forever, man. That's my spoiler-free review. I absolutely love this film. I think it's in the upper echelon of Marvel films for me. It might be in my top 5, like, to be honest. Realistically, top 10 off the bat. But just for what it did for me emotionally, representation of my people, Mexicanos, Namor, everyone here, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Go watch it. But that's it for me. Let me know what you thought about Wakanda Forever down in the comments below. And until later, peace.